Oh boy. All right, here we go. Yep. I mean, you guys knew this was coming by now. Hey Bella, what's up? You guys knew this was coming by now. Um, all right, what do I think? I think we got some hips, some dancing. I like the little dinosaurs in the background. Um, and we have yet another social media for our Sims to go ahead and sign up on, which could be interesting in its own way. Is somebody okay? Hey, hold up here. There were some flowers involved. I would like to return to the flowers. I have my hey, are those new wall plants? Okay. All right, look, I have priorities and it's plants. And I kind of ooh, strawberries. Yeah, where are we going here? I think I'm old now. I think I have a lot. I mean, you're hearing me maybe dumbstruck, if not Lovestruck at the moment. I think the stars are pretty. Is that a new game? Oh my gosh, are those like romance card games? I like, well, uh-oh. Oh no. Can you die of heartbreak? Have you always been able to die of heartbreak? Dawn, what's up? I like the little library. I can't believe all the things I noticed. Wait a second! You guys, was that an axolotl? Hold up here. Yeah, hi. So, let's... I, I'm gonna just go ahead and... Okay, I thought I took enough time to kind of compose myself. The answer is no, but I decided we're just gonna keep rolling with it because what better way to provide some honest reaction than being honest about my reaction, even if it's gibberish, simlish, gibberish, simlish-ish. Um, you know, I'm going to continue to hold on to my thoughts about what I was going to be coming towards this pack with as my pre-impressions until we go through it a couple times and just double check because I actually noticed a couple of things in the trailer that I did not even begin to think were going to be possibilities. And I'm not talking about the eggplant outfit. I'm talking about a few plants, and also I think I saw an axolotl, which I need to kind of go back and check out again. I also see some new traits. That's kind of fascinating to me. I'm sort of curious about how your Sims decide on which one of their photos get to be used for like the new Cupid's Corner thing. Also, those are indeed some new plants. There's a really cute little like statue with birds on it we're going to be looking at in a moment. I think I had to go through this a second time slower with you guys before we started pausing and pointing out plants because wow. um I am not somebody who's ever played with any of the mods like Wicked Whims out there that really add a lot of the romance features or online dating or other things into my Sims game. I'm not opposed to, in fact, I loved the attraction system in The Sims 2, for instance. Never used the online dating in Sims 3 because, as you guys know, the majority of my Sims 3 experiences have either been a warlock ending up being in a marriage with a fairy because he used a love spell in order to make sure that he had a mother for his adopted daughter. And also because everything else has been like the 101 Dalmatians challenge, which was mostly poor Anita and her husband running around with their mini children, mini puppies, and then disappearing on that cruise ship. So it didn't involve any of this or online dating. I looked back up for my guinea pigs to see the traditional woohoo bed that I remember. That I remember from the OG Sims. I have played Sims since the very, very, very first one. That doesn't mean that I love everything that goes on. I am exploring my options in how I feel about Lovestruck because I think primarily it's obviously kind of a lot of woohoo. We're going all in on the woohoo. We're going all in on like those smexy sexy vibes. That is not in at least the way that I see the world what all of romance and attraction is about. And I just keep getting stuck on that. So it's kind of more like love stuck because I think there's a lot of things here that I really want to investigate that I'm really fascinated about. Also, the idea of Dawn flirting with the Grim Reaper is just like, yeah, of course he would. Um, and there's a lot of little things hiding in here that I think I'm going to really love, like the fact I think we're coming back around to the axolotl, and I just saw a little hippo statue. A hippo statue. Like, come on. Like, look at that little axolotl. Now we can start slowing it down a little bit and kind of catching our breath and like looking over everything because that's adorable. I love that axolotl. Also, I'm really curious about these photos. Is this actually a mirror that you can put actual pictures on? However, if you come all the way back to the beginning, not all images appear in game. Who knows? I have been burned by being excited about photos and frames before in the past, so let's just keep that in mind as we welcome in, I think, something like the 70th somethingth expansion pack DLC kit stuff for our adventures. And I still personally really love playing Sims 4. I did, just in case you guys were wondering, leave the creator program after Sims 4 seasons because I really wanted to make sure that I could go forward with everything that I experienced, everything that I played in a way that just didn't leave a doubt in my mind, even if other people still think that because I like the game, I am in the creative. No, I'm not. There's no links in my description. There never will be, ever. I promise. That's a line for me so that I can just have fun for what is there. And I want to explore what fun I can have for what is here. And normally I can take or leave a lot of packs that have things to do with maybe subjects that I'm not really like totally vibing with. As a happily married person who's been with my beloved husband, best friend, love of my life, Chips, for we're going on like 11 to 12 years now, which is kind of amazing. We've been married for almost 45 years now, which is amazing. That's wild because like you guys have been there. Like I started dating him when we started the YouTube channel, almost in the same like months. So that's amazing to me. And I think that's where I keep getting stuck, even though I'm trying to look at these beautiful new trees and these lovely new palm trees and get really excited. Even though I saw an axolotl, even though I saw that there are a few other things in here, a lot of it's just so woohoo heavy, woohoo heavy, woohoo heavy. And there's also going to be new systems added in that we'll talk about in just a little bit here that have to do with adding in new systems for romances, attraction, a whole bunch of other things that allow Sims to hopefully be able to have more of a romantic connection and even allow them to figure out like what their dates are going to start looking like. Allow them to go ahead and figure out their turn on and turn offs. There's going to be a new free update for a romantic boundaries system. And so there's a lot of that going on, but I just really wonder, like I just really wonder. I guess I just look at a lot of this and what I see doesn't look anything like what I'm, well, maybe this one. What I think of when I think of romance. It's really stuff that's more sharing your life together in a way that has an extra layer of nuance and intimacy because you love each other. You get to watch the other person flourish. It's not just like getting handsy at the bar, which for the record, I've never even been to a bar. So maybe it's just way outside my world experience. But I just wanted to kind of say that because I want to enjoy what I can from this experience, which I'll probably try out because I think it may be a sleeper gameplay changer for me. The way that Get Together actually is the most powerful pack in The Sims 4 for gameplay changing. Honestly, I think only Parenthood comes close to even fundamentally changing how you can play The Sims 4. And an attraction system, a system of turn-ons, turn-offs that could really start giving us a lot more tangibility and a lot more to work with, a lot more traction on how the attraction system works for our Sims could be a huge part of that like gameplay changer. But it just kind of gameplay changer. Oh my gosh, that's so ironic because like they used to be the game changers. Huh. Yeah, again, I'm not affiliated with like EA at all, and I won't be. Because I just want to have the space to look at all of this and go, what do I like? what do I think, what messages am I being given? What opportunities am I being given to be able to play the stories of the worlds that I see? What values are they carrying? And this isn't like a moral call. It's just there's another axolotl, by the way. Oh my gosh. I see that's what will hook me more than the woohoo bed. Is this axolotl right here. What I guess I'm trying to say is I guess when I think of romance, I'm going if I looked at this expansion pack, I would benefit myself more from thinking of it kind of like more as a woohoo pack with like a side of deepening the gameplay for the ability with relationships between my Sims versus thinking about it as something that really represents what romance looks like to me. And as somebody who's lucky enough, I've been in bad relationships, I've been with my beloved husband for so long. Um, I've seen good ones, I've seen bad ones. I'm older now. I've seen like friends fall in love, friends continue on and have like happy lives together, have rough patches, get divorced. I've seen a lot of it. I have friends who are currently looking for a partner or a new partner. I have friends who just met somebody and are Twitter pated, and it's just so joyful to be around the new people who are in love with each other. And the thing that makes it joyful to watch people be in love with each other is their happiness and the way that they they are celebrating the other person being happy too. And I guess that's why I keep getting Lovestruck on for this pack is it's not just about like, oh why hi there and like snuggles and like it's about what you it's about watching the other person like this kind of comes a little closer flourish and be happy and celebrating them doing the things they do in their daily life in a way that you appreciate on an entirely different level because that's the person I love doing the thing that makes them happy. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. That's the kind of thing. When I think about love and romance and I think about my Sims gameplay, I think about Fern Green and her dad. Like I think about Fern falling in love with Jean, but I think about Fern's dad Pine, and I think about Pine and his wife Devon. For those of you guys who don't know, my Sims like family legacy, it's ridiculously long. I love it. It'll be coming back pretty soon. I kind of when I heard that this was kind of on the horizon, I was kind of like waiting to see what it offered before we like looped back in there. But when I think about romance and I think about love, I think about Pine doing the laundry for their huge family so that Devon, his wife, can go ahead and have some time every evening after her very busy job taking apart corrupt companies who are trying to scam people and being like somebody taking down like these big corporations. She comes home super stressed out and he tries to have clean laundry done so that she can relax and go do yoga in her office before they can all hang out together as a family. I guess that's what I think of when I think of romance. So that's not really fitting with what I'm seeing. And I guess what I am seeing are just more like physical intimacy. But I also want to see the other parts of falling in love. I also want to see a little extra cheer that a sim does. If they're like, "Whoa, you like fishing too?" Like I want to see like an extra tippy tap jump of like, "Yeah," or an extra loud clap or like I don't know. Just I want to see not just like the hey kind of Don Juan wink. I want to see an extra step. That's I think where I'm kind of like love stuck on all of this is that's what love looks like to me. And I'm kind of curious what you guys think about that because I feel like it doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm seeing, but maybe I don't know. I guess part of me my whole life I've dated like a grand total of two people. And both were extremely long-term relationships. And so this is an interesting pack to me because it really pushes in our faces what we think love is, what we think it looks like, what we think it should look like, what we think it could look like for the gameplay elements, for the storytelling elements, for what Sims is supposed to be about. That ability to be able to tell stories and make their lives more nuanced in a way that naturally create that immersive like role play story that you build with your world and your Sims to varying gradient. Some people really love strictly controlling everything, and some people are chaos goblins like me who love to just watch it go wild to the point where sometimes it overwhelms me and I have to take a little while to sort everything back out again. But what does love look like to you? What does it look like for your Sims? What void have you felt like has been missing from your Sims relationships and their lives in a way that makes it feel like they click an extra little bit tighter together that this could possibly fill for you? Like I'm really curious. I'm really curious because I think whatever answers you guys have will let me know if my slight hesitation of wondering, is it just me? Like, is it just me who feels like I'm looking at a foreign world and trying to figure out, but how do you be in this setting? And what does that have to do with falling in love and loving someone? And is it just me who maybe that is too closely tied with whatever like sort of like hip sashaying dance like wink hug intimacy seems to be going on and all these things? Is it just me like where these things aren't connected? I don't know. I hope I'm making sense, and I think I am, but I think at the end of the day, even if I'm not, this is a good example, I think, of kind of one of the first times I've really had a Sims 4 pack or any Sims pack really kind of get in my face and make me realize, whoa, okay, the way that people experience the world is varied and different, and that's fantastic and great for the stories. And it just kind of makes me check myself and go, how do I see the world? And I'm still super open to all of this, I think, in the end, because maybe the stories you guys tell using these mechanics and these kinds of settings will show me more aspects of the world and the way people work and the way that love is searched for, the way people define it, the way people experience it, what they're looking for from saying they're looking for someone to love. There's a huge, wide gradient and a gigantic scale of what that covers in the world. And so we will never be able to fully understand and have a glimpse into all of those stories of what it would be like. We will never be able to fully encompass what friendship and love and relationships, and there's no ideal, there's no one set way. And there's also no one set even mindset to see all those things with. That's one of the benefits of The Sims to me, is being able to see the way other people see the world through the stories they tell. And I would love to have some insight in what you guys think about the stories that you would tell with these mechanics that are being added in. That's actually super important to me, and maybe one of the top most important comment sections I will ever read now that I'm thinking about it. So if you really don't mind taking the time to let me know, it would mean a lot, because I think it would tell me so much more about the world than I expected from this pack. And that's super serious, but I feel like that's okay. I'm Seri. I play the game, and the reason that people often ask me, how do you come up with all these storylines? And like, what storylines? I'm just holding on for dear life. Is because that kind of immersive thoughtfulness is what lets me feel like I can bring a little bit of playful wonder and delight and consistency to really just jumping into the worlds that we create in our Sim stories. And it's something that I'm leaning more heavily into rather than trying to explain all aspects of like, or think about like what makes a good Sims like video. Then you have no videos made, because I'm not working from the heart there. And I've been working on returning to that just trusting myself to enjoy it. And even if it's not for everybody, maybe it'll be stories people also just have fun with or inspired by, or just they're fun to listen to while you're, I don't know, mining in Minecraft or something. And so I just look at this, and I think it could be one of the most pivotal packs that's ever been released. But I don't think it's going to be because of the vibrating heart bed. I think it's going to be because of what it means for not so much like the diversity of what kind of relationships we see, because now you will be able to, with the new update, you'll be able to set the romantic boundary system that will allow you to customize your Sims experience with boundaries and jealousy. You can now define how your Sims approach romantic relationships in terms of physical and emotional romantic exclusivity. This allows for Sims to date multiple Sims without impacting the other relationships, which makes me do like a few double takes because I don't like the use of the word jealousy here, because it kind of implies if you have a boundary where you're not okay with that, then you're jealous, and that is presented in almost every definition of the word as a negative trait. And what I would like to see instead is like the boundaries, and like not presented as like, oh, if you have boundaries then you get jealous and angry. What about hurt? What about just being able to feel like blasé? Like, I don't want to see it like in that dynamic. Just boundaries would have been good. Remove and jealousy. Just experience with boundaries. How they approach romantic relationships. And it would be nice if this allows for some Sims to date multiple Sims without impact to some of their relationships, because I have a feeling you'd have characters like Don Juan where I hope we don't set it so it's just like he can get away with like that, but I don't think you can, because now apparently you might be able to die of heartbreak. So that actually is a huge relief for me, because I'm not talking about like this kind of diversity of relationships when I think about romance. I'm talking about a lot of other stuff that kind of thrust into the face of, what does it mean to love somebody? Is it just going out dancing with them and feeding them strawberries? I guess that's what I kind of miss for The Sims as a whole, is where I think it's strongest is where we're there with the Sims we create and the stories we build, cheering them on for their growth and progress. Because I think that we carry that tone with us into our daily lives, and we want to cheer ourselves on and celebrate our growth and progress. When we see stories like that, it doesn't mean always being successful or the top job or getting the most money. I think that's where the aspirations have really kind of fallen flat for me compared to like Sims 2, where it was like a lifetime sort of aspiration, where it was pursuing your wants, and even that's kind of falling flat of what I'm trying to explain. But I guess that's what I'm hoping I can find, even here in these mechanics, is a way where you can celebrate the I guess where you can celebrate fulfillment somehow. And that it means more than just some aspiration points to spend in an invisible god store. Because I guess that's what I would love the most out of something like Lovestruck, where you could celebrate fulfillment with your Sims and their relationships in a way where you got to see them flourish if they're finding what they need and want within the boundaries, whatever those are, that they have for what that would look like. Because when you can really live inside of any kind of relationship boundary, be it romantic or otherwise, and it's respected and cherished and honored, and you're able to return that to the person that's also in those boundaries with you, or however that looks for you, it's really amazing with any relationship. And even the one with yourself, as said as somebody who is, I have a very like small bubble for that level of like intimacy and friendship and relationship, just because it's what I can handle. But I have a big heart for like the world. Just, I know that when everything is respected and when I can watch the people I love flourish and when they can watch me flourish, to me that's the most beautiful part. And that's the most beautiful part of at least what I think romance is. And I just want to find it somewhere in here. And now that I've talked through it, I'm more optimistic I can. If not through the actual mechanics and gameplay, then through my own freaking elbow imagination grease applied until I'm probably going to hit my funny bone. But I think I could make it happen, and I think that it's important to somehow find a way to show that off. But, well, I will also say it's nice to have more of the playfulness and more of the ridiculousness that lets me know don't need to take it don't need to take it quite so seriously, because I have also been missing just the goofiness of The Sims as well. Also, are we getting fires? Because I just realized this is a firefighter's pants, at least. All right, now that the more serious part is over, let's wrap this up by going through again real quick, just to kind of look at everything that stands out in the trailer and kind of zip through some of this stuff that does jump out at me. All right, first up, we do seem to have some new plants, like I mentioned before. Definitely stood out to me because whilst going through and reading the description for the Lovestruck or Lovestuck pack, again, probably one of the most important comment sections I'll ever read. If you could take your time, if you don't mind, just to let me know what you think and what this means for you, if it's just playful and fun, or if it kind of makes you review everything about how you want to really portray like romance in your game. I think it's great to have lots of options though. Definitely lots and lots of options help out with the storytelling aspect of it. So I'm totally like feeling a lot more comfortable with that now. And I'm also feeling more comfortable with the fact there might actually be plants, because I have to tell you guys what, when I was reading through this and it was talking about the romantic blanket in the city's gardens, I was like, what gardens? Where are the gardens? And then, you know, oh, sure, sure, sure. You're going to have a new dating like ability. You could have a romance consultant, which Ukapanipo from our Sims 4 like Wedding Rags to Island Riches challenge, which is definitely coming back, because I was kind of waiting for this, to be completely honest, once I heard it was coming. And also, you know, turn on and turned offs. All wonderful, but you just told me there was a garden, lush neighborhoods. When I saw 3 lush neighborhoods coming to this beautiful new world, I kind of just want to call it the Enchanto world. Because that's what I'm thinking of. I'm just gonna call it the Enchanted World for a minute or something. No, that's too silly. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to avoid the fact that I flunked Spanish twice. Because I really struggle with it. So let's just in Morada. There in Morada. I'm gonna do my best. But now that we're here, it's supposed to be a gorgeous city and love and the perfect place for all your romantic encounters. Personally, I find many areas of Sulani to be suitable as well, but I very much love trees. Love-struck feelings overflow in 3 lush neighborhoods, and that's where I was like, where's my lush neighborhoods, that is? Where? Where's my trees? And so seeing these trees makes me feel quite a bit better. So hopefully we'll see a lot of those plants in multiple places. I have to say, if the plant is not higher than the buildings around it, then I side-eye that. That's a demerit, but that's okay. I suppose that we all can't be redwoods. Fine, I can put up with that. But there do seem to be some new plants, which make me quite happy. I love this little shop. If you cannot buy flowers from here, I will cry. So I'm probably gonna cry, but we can probably fix that somehow with the tool like cheat. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Also, is that are those like a it's like half a heart earring. And I have to say that is there's some cute outfits, there's some cute new hairstyles. I love the little clippies. I do like the fountain and that they can sit around the fountain. And I do like that somebody seems to be just having a think by the fountain too. It's kind of nice to see that it's more than just sitting down. But I do love this snuggle. Can we do this cuddle with our Sims? I need to have my Sims like pick up less horse poop and actually spend more time snuggling. We do have this amazing sign, by the way. I laughed so hard when I saw this like metal like llama just on the loose, and also the little freezer bunny sign. Very much enjoyed those. I think that that's really adorable. It'll be fun to have like cute little nooks and crannies to set up for our Sims. I really love the decorations. I do think that this would be a great place to use, again, the tool mod, because I'm immediately looking at all the empty space and empty walls, and I'm like, let me fix that for you. But think about how much fun it would be to be able to put up, like, again, I'm just going to say it, like Twisted Mexie's tool mod, I could not play the game without it at this stage because I'm so in love with it. Those are just giant empty canvases for you to cover with possibly plants, but what about posters of your Sims? What about pictures? You could go ahead, imagine if you had these walls and like your Sims came and took like a selfie over here at like this famous like meet and greet spot and then like left it on the walls. That would be so cute just to build it up, kind of like some people put those little lockets on bridges around the world and then the bridge ends up falling down. So do check if that's okay. I also, Bella, good to see you. I'm noticing a lot more tattoos on a lot of the Sims. Also, is that a skill book for romance that he is reading? Because there is indeed a new romance skill, as well as the new romantic consultant, which I think might be a job. So who knows? Maybe that's what this person is working on right here. Could be romantic consultant. And we have some really wild new walls that add so much more depth than there is actually in space, which really threw me. And I gotta figure out if this is a new dance or if I just really don't remember like the Rasumba or whatever it's called from Jungle Adventures as well as I thought I did. And I also would love to know if you have a lot of people just PDAing all over the place, waltzed out and about, if you're gonna have more Miss Crumplebottom reactions too. Is Miss Crumple is this going to be the game pack that kills Miss Crumplebottom? Is she just gonna have like a heart attack and just kill over? Or is this where we finally like she breaks the ice and finds whatever romance she wants out of life? A lot of questions there. Also, the new Cupid's Corner, I've lost count of how many social medias there are for my Sims because I tend to just deactivate all of them because, but this is coming as somebody who's given up social media otherwise, so, eh. And then you can go ahead and you can set your orientation, you can say who you're looking to date, you can describe yourself as, and I wonder if you can lie about that. I wonder if you can lie and say, oh, I'm not actually self-assured. I'm actually, I don't know, like a Black Widow snobby vampire or something like that. Or maybe you don't really love music. Or maybe you don't really like kids. Like, I wonder if you could go ahead and like put things down here that don't match. Can you end up, like, what happens if you have a picture you put up? Can you put up pictures of Sims that aren't you? Like, take a picture of somebody else and put it up. And then this one, so you can see traits. So he loves art lovers. So it's nice to see that this is actually something that you can have on your matches. And this is interesting. You can choose not to share the location of where you live. Oh, didn't know that either. But it looks like the only things you really see for your Sims happen to be if they are like their age, if they share where they live, a picture, and like 2 traits. That's interesting. But what I'm hoping to see with modders, if nothing else, is that things like what career are you into? Like what skills do you have? Those things to me would also add a lot more layers of nuance and potential like connection between Sims than just like 1 or 2 of their traits. Romantically reserved and neat, and lovebug and romantically reserved are 2 of the new traits that seem to be coming up. Alluring and good. She even shared where she lives. This is the other thing I think is missing here, and that is what was throwing me off, was like maybe what a Sim is looking for and if they're already in a relationship or not. That would be really like, that seems important to me. If they're on like a dating app, like, are you looking for a friend? Are you looking for, a partner? Like, what are we doing here? That seems kind of important to me. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I love that flower wall decal. I'm in that fruit picture. Why are you cute? And I have noticed this little tree a couple times. I guess if you give me flowers, I'm happy. Also, I did notice that here, these pictures actually seem to be different than the pictures that we saw on this photo frame in a different like part of the trailer. Reminder where it said at the beginning, the fact that, you may not all the things that you see may actually be in the game, but I would love if we could actually like change out some of these photos. I'm just gonna like stomp on my heart right now, step on it hard because it's probably never going to happen. But I do love how they show like, hey, nice mom looking for a date. And I love these plants. Like, out of the way, sir. You're in the way. There are so many beautiful plants I need to look at right now. This woman clearly has great taste because look at all of these. I love these trees. These trees, I'm pretty sure, are new, or if they're not, they're used in such a way that I appreciate them on a whole new level. Also, can we do this? Is that something we can already do? Flowers? Giving them? Is that, have I just missed that somehow? I love the little like lovebird statue back here as well. And yes, I'm pointing to the statue behind her, by the way. I realized I was like circling my mouse around something. Oh, that may not have been clear. I meant the statue. Also, it does seem like lush neighborhood fits a little bit more now that I see these trees. I guess I'm just really unrealistic in my expectations because I'm like, put the plants on the top of the roof. Which, you know, to be fair, they did over here, and I can really appreciate that. I do love this pool, actually. I'm okay. That's a really good build. I'm very impressed. You have that like hats off there. And I love these plants. They might be new. They might be new. I will admit, after 70 something additions, expansions, etc., etc., this one again. You guys, these are new pictures on another one. I'm getting really suspicious right now. Also, there's 3 new woohoo locations. I think one may be the closet that's over here that seems like a pre-made closet, a little bit different from the ones we already have. I am worried people are going to riot because we do have a closet woohoo already. But again, it's only in the Parenthood Pack to my knowledge, so or in the Laundry Day maybe. So if you don't have those, maybe it doesn't show up. Is this a small bar? Is that small bar from like that daily login thing that I completely ignored? Maybe. I like the jellyfish lamps. Hey Dawn, of course you'd be here. Of course you would. A ton of new furniture, by the way. A ton of new furniture. And so that makes the plants the flowers he gave her and the strawberries 2 new things that we've kind of seen for like romantic relationships. I do like that we kind of have another big city vibe going on outside that really, it reminds me a lot of our city living expansion with San Myshuno, but not quite as like high tech, westy coasty, like Tokyo developed feel. And I do like that, though I would love more color. However, it seems everybody saves all their color to put on the walls. Also, now I have more questions, because aren't we at his place now? Why was there a picture of her and her kids at his place? Maybe we're back at her place? Or maybe the relationship has escalated, for all I know. Something's escalating. Again! So are we getting like a new costume set, or are all of these already in the game and I just have not tried to put my Sims in a giant eggplant? I'm learning a lot about myself today and I've got a lot of reflecting to do, I guess. But that being said, also I love the stars. I really love this because this is different than what our Sims have been able to do for looking at the stars. This is more, I guess, what I think about as being romantic. Because you can lay on the ground, like, which makes my back itchy just thinking about that for some reason, probably because it's summer and there's like a bazillion bugs outside right now. But you can lay on the ground and point up at the stars. But the idea of sitting down on a blanket and pointing up at the stars, that's romantic to me. That's the pizza pie moon eye sort of like stuff. And also that's cute. I really think this is cute. That's a new kind of woohoo that I don't think we've ever seen in any of the Sims. That's adorable. That's really adorable. And also probably I just am thinking like, do Sims ever react if somebody jumps in a woohoo bush? Because also that's probably like I was like maybe that's a little questionable to do at a park. But there do seem to be a new card game that, since this is a woohoo card, clearly is more like I guess adult themed. And this bear is crying big tears. Is that, do we get such big tears? And also, hey Don, is this a new guitar? I love this little like peep little heart stomach little chick over here. Very cute. So there's a lot of little details hidden around. that I think that will be quite enjoyable. Is that a new little TV? I gotta get back in. There's just so much stuff going on. I still love her hair. I still love her hair. I also think this is a hilarious tattoo where it's just different people's names with a big giant crosses put down them. Yeah, talk to my sister about her tattoo sleeve. Oh my gosh. She'd be able to tell you how to work with that, madame. Um, and I don't think dying of heartbreak has been a thing yet. Sadness, maybe? Like, I gotta double check that. Hilarity? That's always been something. So, I'm intrigued at that possibly being the case. I also think this is a hilarious setup with the librarian in this little library. It makes me wonder if this may be one of the places that we might be able to visit in the world too. And there is the little box of chocolates. And now I I kind of wish I could have a sim. Can you make those? I wish that you could have the option to make those kinds of treats or like modders. Oh my gosh, I would like almost commission somebody for this. Like if somebody knew how to do this, where you could do something like whatever mechanic is going to happen with that box of treats where you can like share the chocolates. What if you could get an extra boost if you made it yourself and it was like in just like a more humble little box that you made like handmade chocolates, little homemade chocolates? What if you could do that and it like had an extra special little boost? That'd be so cute. Might be a new fireplace. That's a hippo on top of the fireplace. Also, the walls are just like wild. They're so busy, and I normally would never even look twice at something like that, but I have to say I'm really impressed with the way that it makes the rooms look gigantic. And we're also sitting on top of a bear rug from maybe hold up. Oh no, are we going too deep in the lore here? Is this why we're crying? Is this why the blueberry is crying? Because there's like bear rugs everywhere here now. Oh, we need to go check on Granite Falls. I think things have gotten a little dark. And speaking of things getting a little dark, there is a special pre-order bonus that this is part of where you can get a heartbreak plushie and the breakup double bed, and the like crying eyeliner if you pre-order the game. And that's terrible, ma'am. I'm so sorry. Also, I noted again new pictures in this mirror back here. All of that said, there's like an axolotl in a tank with little face icons. I would like more clarification on this because that's the thing. What you get on the package, which is a lot on the package, just to remind you, which is a lot, may not be why a certain Seri or yourself may absolutely dive head over heels into this because I see an axolotl. I, where was the information provided about this axolotl? I would like to know more. I don't think it shows up whatsoever in here. In fact, let's see. Nope, axolotl, can't find it. Why is this a horrible oversight? I thought you're supposed to put your selling points in these things. The things that make people want to, the flora and fauna. This is what made me go explore open street areas surrounded by flora and fauna. And I was like, what flora? What fauna? And then I was like, okay, maybe I'm okay with a little bit of these plants. Fine. Maybe that can count. But then I was like, but what fauna is that? There's not even birds flying around or like squirrels just disappearing mid-step, like as little animated things that I would then turn desperately to Bakey Sims Gaming to like end up creating a really fun item for. Congratulations on he and his wife for his like wedding, by the way, and I hope you had a wonderful trip to Iceland. But you know, axolotl, that's the fauna. Where is it? How do I get it? Is it going to be a new item that you, or a new fish that you can fish out of the fountain? I would love to know more. Very excited about that. And if you end up going ahead and digging through a few more of the interesting things here, some of the other things that really jumped out to me is that you will have a new lot trait, the singles hangout. Oh my gosh, what could that do? I guess, who knows? It's a mystery at what happens at the singles hangout lot. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they play bingo. But you can go ahead and you can put that on basically any lot, which I think would be quite fun. Put it on a library. Like, come on, live dangerously. And then you can also do the Cupid's Corner app in order to find matches. Again, I think it's really interesting that there's nothing on at least that prototype of what we see in the trailer that has to do with what you're looking for. What, like, our Sims, I'm pretty sure like in Sims 2, turn on and turn offs were also affected by if somebody was high up in their career, if they had a lot of money, if they didn't have a lot of money, if they were lazy. Like, I guess that's a personality trait with the last one, but I just think that that is interesting that you can't even like sort by like saying what you're looking for, because I feel like that's one of the perils with dating apps is I mean, and you don't have to bring that much realism into it if you don't want to, I suppose, but what makes Don Juan a serial cheater if he's not cheating? Like, and so if he's saying on the package like, "Hey, like, yeah, I'm totally single," like it's just interesting to me that that's missing. But I can see how functionally from a coding point of view and from a gameplay point of view and from making it malleable enough for people to do what they want, those things missing of at least saying like what your Sim's really looking for out of being on the app makes sense. Maybe you don't even know, but maybe it would help you figure it out. And I think it would be interesting if at least other things like what are your skills? What job do you have? Were perhaps provided. However, then again, those are probably why you go on the dates. Maybe it's supposed to be really simple like that, and you have to actually go date a sim. In fact, now that I think about it, that's more fun. If you have to be like, I don't know, I want to hook my sim up with somebody who they can fall in love with or something, but then you go on a date, and what if your sim is like a gold digger, and so you go on a date and you're clicking and everybody's so happy and your sims are getting along, and then your sim finds out like, oh no, they're broke. You'd have to ask questions. You'd have to really like do the ask about job, ask about relationship status. I guess relationship status is just a weird one to me not to have, but then again, why are you on the app anyway? uh but I mean, you can see how complicated it can get. Anyway, when using Cupid's Corners, Sims can snap a selfie and create a profile by setting preferences to find Sims who are romantically available. Potential partners will show up in the Matches tab. Then you save them, you can call them up, you can go on a date, and the create a date feature is the new mechanic that I also think will be very useful, which will allow you to create date scenarios where you can customize the date by picking a date type, venue, you can invite more Sims. Again, I kind of hope that also includes being able to just like go on double dates with like your friend and their partner too. Or like I know that that's probably coded in a way just to make it however you want to set relationships up, but I think that could be quite fun as well, especially if you had, wouldn't a double date scenario be fun if you had something where it was like enthuse about how cool your friend is to the potential date partner that they're trying to date, like be the wingman for them that way, as they say. I think that'd be fun if you could be like, oh, you won't believe how good they are at like, the rocket science skill. That could be really cool. I think that that would be really fun. And even if that's not the way it works, I never thought about doing something like a double date scenario, and I might just try to manually make that happen myself. Because that would be really cute, I think. And I love that you can have the goals and activities for the date, because that'll make them so much more interesting because they have been bland since before Pine Green was born. So yeah, that'll be quite fun. Once on a date, Sims can connect through playing games, chatting at a picnic blanket, sharing food, cuddling in a heart-shaped bed, or by stargazing up at the night sky. To try to add a little spice to the mix, new romantic relationships include a new kiss, a sultry dance, which, as somebody whose grandmother was a professional hula dancer, I think what's throwing me off about watching the Sims dance, I just realized that's one of the things that's just making me go wild. My grandmother was literally a professional hula dancer her entire life until she like ended up moving from Hawaii to California and had her three sons, and she ended up becoming like involved with helping out a flight controller at an airport. Weird pivot, but it worked. The thing is, she taught hula the rest of her entire life. Nothing my professional hula dancing grandmother who could move her hips for those dances. You can find videos of her on YouTube. I'll just put it that way. Like, nothing looked like that. I don't think the human body really really quite to that extent. Here's another example of the dancing. I think that's why I kept just being so freaking thrown off by that. And it just, I think the other example of the dancing was like over here. And nothing, you know, I'm glad y'all can pull off being Play-Doh. That's what it was. I was wondering why I kept getting so like, what's happening with that? And I think that's what it was. But you can create those custom dates through this. And this is also another thing that kind of stopped me. And I would really love to know your guys' interpretation of this as well, because I really want to think this through. Just like you can have different parenthood and relationship dynamics with between parents and kids, and then between family relationships with different family members, there are now going to be new types of romantic relationships that Sims can have, and there's four where you can have wholesome, which refers to two Sims who genuinely love each other and show it through their actions, both friendly and romantic. There's steamy, where it focuses mostly on physical intimacy. There's strained, two Sims that are still romantically intertwined, but generally unhappy with each other and treat each other unkindly. And there's unpredictable, which is Sims that go back and forth between fights and lovers. They may fight 1 second, but kiss and make up the next. And I guess the thing is, it feels like there's stuff missing in there, that if you're going to have this kind of pack where it's clear that you're trying to kind of do a lot of wink wink nods at a big aspect of types and diversities of relationships, wholesome doesn't seem to be enough to balance out the uncomfortable parts of unpredictable and strained, which I think are I don't know about that. It's good to have the dynamic added in, just like you can be a strict parent and that negatively affects your sim kids, and just like you can have really strained or distant or like pressure relationship between different family members where your expectations just are like back and forth. But I am really nervous about that aspect in a way. I really am. I hope that that's handled well, with unpredictable being fighting and then kissing, because it's so important. Sims 2 shaped me so much as a teenager for learning how to guide my life and how to actually really figure out how to set lifetime aspirations and wants, and to believe that I could improve my skills and I could build my way up into just finding fulfillment in life in ways that were outside of only seeing myself as like I had to succeed at school or have a lot of money or look a certain way. It really opened my mind up to that when I was younger, and so I just am really cautious when it's something like this that might make it. I want the story, gameplay capabilities, but I really hope that it's handled well. I don't know if I can even articulate the way that, once again, this makes me love stop. AXOLOTL, you're on the other side. I know, but I just really, because the thing is, like, I'm more concerned about how other people will utilize that ability and what it would look like. And I'm more concerned that that's going to look more exciting and it's going to look more engaging to players than something that's more wholesome. Wholesome, I'm worried, is going to look boring and unfulfilling because it is a little bit of a struggle to feel that the fulfillment of your Sims matters when the fulfillment of your Sims lives is also your own entertainment. If the fulfillment of your Sims lives is peaceful but not entertaining, then that I worry that that won't matter as much as something that's much more unpredictable and entertaining and has elements of fulfillment mixed in with all of that. A challenge is how most people tend to enjoy the Sims games, and it's what's given me my own sense of longevity with being part of the Sims game for so long. But I really am concerned about if that, because the Sims can be very bland if you don't find ways to get engaged and attached and interact with them. I'm really, really, really worried that wholesome is not going to have what it needs as that extra spark for showing how fulfilling and enriching a wholesome relationship can be, it will look boring. What if that looks boring? What if there's not enough there that's just spontaneous kindness to one another? Or there doesn't seem to be that extra little intrigue that makes you want to see that wholesomeness reflected, compared to the way that the entertainment value, because of the interactions that use the animations, because of the unpredictability of it, I worry that that may have more entertainment value and make it so that that seems like something that just ends up happening in a way where I just really hope that there are equivalent on the other end of the gradient scale, equivalent entertaining and engaging rewards for wholesomeness of a relationship, just to make sure that that balance isn't forgotten. Am I happy? Is a strong word. I'm appreciative that there are the dynamics of a gradient for these like relationships to potentially be a mechanic that can enrich the stories and the lives of my Sims and the stories I tell with them. But I am just cognizant that what will be the most entertaining will be the most popular. And what will be the most popular, I just don't want people to think that something like that, where you are caught in a relationship where you're fighting but then you're nice, that kind of back and forth needs to be handled with a lot more nuance, and it needs to be balanced by something that's a lot healthier than I worry is. I don't have a lot of, I worry it's not going to be there. And so this is just my tiny little voice speaking into a void, saying I really hope that there are ways that the wholesomeness of genuine love and kindness to one another in a relationship, that they don't become so bland and boring and make your eyes glaze over because of the unpredictability. You can be unpredictable and wholesome. I hope that that doesn't happen to the point where this seems like it's more engaging and exciting and alluring than this. As a gameplay dynamic, awesome is still too strong a word. Good to have that gradient. As a life simulator, I just really hope it's not normalizing something that's not good. And that's I think where I'm love stuck again. This is gonna be a hard one for me, I think. I think that I worry that by getting it, by playing it, by incorporating the aspects of the game and the gameplay into my Let's Plays, into my stories, I think that's why I keep like digging in my heels, is I don't want people to think that's okay. I don't want people to think that is okay, because it's not. And I mean, this is a game where you can feed your Sims to a cow plant, so we don't need to take it that serious, but I just guess I just had to get that off my chest and explore what I think about that. Because you could take away a pool ladder and drown your Sims. You can make their house so dirty and filthy with mold, they die. You could, like, do a lot of things. You can pull a child out of a well and adopt it. Like, go get abducted by an alien. But I just really think if we're going to be playing a pack that plays the beats of mimicking real human romantic relationships, that's something worth mentioning. So, let me know what you guys think, because I there's AXOLOTL on the other side. I think I can handle it with the nuance and the importance that if somebody was, we were playing with Sims that ended up in a relationship like that, I could express every level of the way down how important it is for everybody to be healthy and flourishing. But I don't know if that's always going to be represented. in the gameplay itself without that extra hand on kind of the rudder guiding the story to make sure that it doesn't normalize something that's terrifying and scary and awful to be trapped inside of, and makes it feel that the people who are watching just feel like, oh yeah, never mind, I shouldn't be so upset because this is just the way it is, right? I don't want that for people. So this has gotten a lot heavier than I thought it would. But romance is serious business. Even if you're going to turn it into silly business. So to kind of pull it back up out of all that, and also wonder once again if we're getting firefighters, because we have a fireplace and we have at least firefighter pants. I think we maybe saw more of the firefighter outfit present somewhere, like to continue to climb back up out of the serious boof that I got in for a moment. I mean, I love the scan the room option for potential Sims to romance again. That was really fun in Sims 2, where certain Sims just like had a shine to them if your turn-ons and turn-offs were aligned, so you had like a triple bolt system with them. I remember back in the day being on like LiveJournal or The Sims 2 like actual where you could share your stories website, and if you had triple bolters as they were called, where they had 3 bolt sims because they were that attracted to each other, couldn't keep their hands off each other, that's the kind of stuff I hope to see too, is if you have a lot of clicks with the turn-ons and turns-offs, if your sims just naturally gravitate towards each other more. Because if you had triple bolters and you had like the sim blender installed so that you had like risky woohoo, you had a bazillion babies, you had to watch out. So there is going to be attraction and compatibility with the turn on and turn offs again. They will define who they are and are not attracted to. Traits, clothing, hairstyles, even certain interactions. I also think that it would be, yeah, some Sims may be turned on by a sweet gift. Some may be turned off by gardening or fishing. So those are skills again. Those are the kinds of things I want to see. So I guess one of the reasons it doesn't show up in Cupid's Corner is because it's going to be part of this attraction compatibility system. And turn-ons, turn-offs, and romantic satisfaction will shape how your Sims build and maintain their relationships over time. Romantic satisfaction bridges between the new attraction system and the existing romantic relationship level in the base game. This represents the individual Sim's feelings about how well or poorly their overall romance is going with another Sim. I love that because that is going to add another layer of nuance to it that could make playing a Sim like Don Juan, a serial cheater, really interesting, because he might only need like a smidgen of that with everybody, and he might end up with partners who are like, wait a second, like my satisfaction on this romance is really low. I want it to be higher. But he can't juggle that many people at that level. That might be a really interesting way to have some of that challenge. And positive romantic interactions improve it, and vice versa. Interactions between Sims give the players tools to understand what each Sim's turn on and turn offs are. This is important to intelligent decision making that will keep both Sims happy in their romantic relationship. And I really love that too, because it's fun to think about like a Sim having to go out of their way, because say somebody really loves gardening, to do gardening with them or fishing with them. I noted that both of those happen to be activities and skills that actually you can do as a group, which I think is really interesting. And also we just found Ukapanipo's new job, which would happen to be the brand new romantic consultant, where your Sims can become romance consultants and make a career out of literally falling in love. As they progress in their career, they will earn new ways to promote love. For a job well done, they may find some cute heart-shaped rewards in their inventories. And I'm hoping you can fulfill that without falling in love with multiple Sims, because that is not happening with Ukapanipo, and like that's he loves his wonderful oh no. Nahali! No, I haven't forgot my own Sim's name. But he loves her way too much. He's learning to read as a mermaid, to write romance novels because he just loves her so much. So that would be really fun for him. And I think that it would be really fun to be able to like, if it's like promote love, like encourage like other people to like, you really like need to like lean into being good to the people you care about. I love that idea. That could be really fun. That I'm totally here for, because it could be a lot of fun just to see finally a Sims job that affects other people's relationships with each other in some way. And you could even possibly play that off as maybe like a sort of therapy thing, or maybe a mod will come out where they can pivot that and also make it like sort of like a therapist position or like a relationship counselor position where they could try to encourage relationships between Sims and help them figure out how to navigate the world. Or maybe you could take that into like a personal life like consultant where if a Sim wants to really change a trait, you could have a Sim come to you who's gloomy and you could like help them work on making their outlook different somehow. And that doesn't mean possibly it just means accepting your gloomy trait versus like changing it. There's a lot of fun things that you could kind of bounce off just from the seed of that idea. So, romantically reserved Sims. They will take longer to get to know their partners. Love bugs, romance is everything. Faster romantic relationships. They may be met with unrequited love should their romantic advances fail. New fears, which I don't even think I use fears. I think I blocked it out. So, yay for those of you who use it and haven't modded it out, like I think most of us. But there it is. There it is. And I ended up making a video essay without meaning to because there's just a lot to cover here, isn't there? And because it deals with something that I think is so important and because it deals with something that can result in shaping so much of our individual lives, however our relationships look, however we want them to look. And because our relationships are possibly one of, if not the biggest factor in shaping how we see ourselves, I think that this is really important to handle with a lot more nuance than I've ever even thought about a Sims pack before. And I hope maybe I give you guys some ideas. Maybe I'm really, 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 really hoping I could have some insight from what you think as well. Am I majorly overthinking this or not? Like, or I mean, maybe the answer is both yes and no, and just what you guys think. And I just hope that this will at least give me a chance to really dive deep into what I do love and enjoy about being able to discover more of the world and delight in the stories that my Sims have told me, because I love the storytelling capabilities that they offer. And so I do have a lot of appreciation for having a broader gradient on that. But I'm just really intrigued at how this may also make me rethink what relationships look like for all of my Sims, not just between romantic partners, but friends, family. How do I really want to utilize all of the different gameplay tools, from the club systems to holidays to like having family stay over, to being able to have some Sims family live in an apartment on the same lot that they can visit with? How do I want to really bring all of the tools that we've had for the last big chunk of time together to really make those relationships shine? What can the game already offer me? And where can I apply just so much elbow grease that I'm going to probably hit my funny bone again and mods to really make it shine and tell stories that mean something to me? Even if it's just, it means that I had a good time and laughed. So let me know what you guys think. And please don't break your hips doing this. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.